were for their hearts. In July 2013, two nautical enthusiasts from two totally different parts of the world decided to try their luck at obtaining a lottery-like spot for a week-long boating trip, called Yacht Week, which started and ended in Croatia. The trip offered spots on 100 boats, with each consisting of friends or family, 5 women and 5 men. Jacqueline Spagnola, a native New Yorker, was in her final year of law school. Guido Wolff lived in Amsterdam and was finishing his degree in business hospitality. Both just wanted to hone their boating skills, travel with friends and have a little fun. Neither expected to find a soulmate alongside their shipmates. Guido and I each got a spot, but since we didn't know each other we were on different boats, Miss Spagnola said. Even though everyone leaves together, the boats go to different islands at different times during the week. Miss Spagnola, now 28, met Mr. Wolff, who is 29, on the third day of the trip. At any given time, you can have 20 boats docked and tied together and everyone walks from one boat to another, she said. After hearing loud music that morning, Miss Spagnola went on deck to see where it was coming from and spotted a group of handsome men 2 boats from hers. I was mesmerized by the best-looking guy I'd ever seen, she said. I told my friends, we have to go over there now. I quickly retreated to my cabin, did a beauty transformation and went with my friends to Guido's boat. Mr. Wolff was equally charmed. She wore a captain's hat and a green bikini, he said. I knew she was the pretty girl that people wanted to talk to, so I left her a little space. Hours later, the 2 boats traveled together to the evening activity, which was a party at Fort George, an abandoned castle overlooking the Adriatic Sea. Her table was next to mine, Mr. Wolff said. I was so attracted to her. I never lost sight of her. They drank and danced, and at midnight they kissed. I remember looking out onto the crowd, being very happy, and thinking this is exactly where I want to be, Miss Spagnola said. Kissing him felt very special. It was that kind of special that transcended back to the Williamsburg section of Brooklyn, where Miss Spagnola was living while finishing her law degree at Brooklyn Law School. Her mother visited the day after she returned home. I didn't think she would meet anyone, it was a singles trip, and she went with friends, said Victoria Spagnola, 57. But she couldn't stop talking about this man she met. She was 100% sure she loved him. She had boyfriends before, but she had never spoken about anyone the way she was speaking about Guido. When she said he was from Amsterdam, I thought, how are they going to do this? Is it just a vacation thing? Who is going to move where? And thus, problem number 1, location. Miss Spagnola grew up in Todd Hill, Staten Island. Her parents also own an apartment in Murray Hill in Manhattan. Her mother is a retired accountant, and her father, Fred Spagnola, 58, is a financial advisor for UBS. She and her brother, who went to school in Manhattan, had strong ties to New York. Moving to Amsterdam for love seemed impulsive. Mr. Wolff grew up in Abcoude, a small town in the Netherlands, until he was 4. Then he moved to Madrid with his older brother and parents. My mother was a homemaker and my father was the CEO of a record label, he said. They returned to his hometown 6 years later, and by then there were 4 Wolff children. Still, love has a way of steering the ship, so to speak, and after that first kiss, the couple's course was set. When the night was over, they departed to their separate yachts, hoping they would continue finding each other along the same route and schedule. I was the captain of our boat and in charge of docking the ship, he said. I'd always be looking for hers and park as close to hers as possible. Somehow we end up finding each other at every party. Except for the final night, which was filled with mishaps. Each thought the other was going to a specific event and, without cell phone reception, there was no way to connect. I was so upset I couldn't find him, Miss Spagnola said. Mr. Wolff was at another party looking for her. We didn't have any goodbye or closure, she said. I didn't have his phone number. I wasn't sure how he spelled his first name. All I remembered was Wolff had 2 F's. Upon arriving home, though, she saw that Mr. Wolff had sent her a message on Facebook. I was really sad about not saying goodbye, Mr. Wolff said. On the last day, every boat goes back to their original harbor. Ours weren't together. When I arrived back in Amsterdam, I looked at Yacht Week's app, which was connected to Facebook. I went through 500 photos looking for her, none of which had names on them, but I found